The first time the light flickered, I didn't think much of it. Old buildings hiccup all the time, a pulse in the wiring, a ghost in the current. But when it happened again, at the same time, with the same rhythm, I began to notice. 8:15 p.m. sharp. 3 small flashes from the window across the hall. Then, nothing. Every night after that, it happened again. By the third night, I was waiting for it, counting seconds like prayers. 1, 2, 3. Darkness. As if someone out there was saying goodnight, but only to me. I'd moved into the building 2 months earlier. The ad called it quiet and charming. It was really just tired, cracked walls that smelled of damp plaster. The buzz of forgotten tenants in every socket. It suited me. After Daniel died, I wanted the world to be smaller, slower, somewhere no one expected me to laugh again. I worked from home, ate from cans, and spoke to no one except the delivery guy who always got my name wrong. Nights were the worst. That's when memories grow teeth. And maybe that's why I saw the light at all. At first, it was just comfort. Something to mark time. 3 blinks meant, I'm still here. Then it became a ritual. I'd make tea at 8, grab a book I knew I wouldn't finish, and keep my eyes fixed on that opposite window. The curtains there were always half drawn. The light soft, almost golden, like candlelight fighting its way through fog. When it flickered, my chest would tighten. And on the rare night it didn't, I felt abandoned by a stranger I'd never even met. A week passed before I dared to respond. I stood by my own lamp, fingers trembling on the switch, and tapped back 3 times. There was a pause, then flicker, flicker, flicker. I remember laughing quietly, as if the sound might break whatever fragile thing we had built. After that, we had a language. 3 blinks for hello. 2 for goodnight. 1 meant, are you there? It was childish and strange and somehow perfect. Like Morse code for the lonely. Days blurred into one another. Outside, the city froze under an early snow. Inside, my life revolved around that window. Sometimes I talk out loud to it, telling the dark what Daniel never heard. How sorry I was for leaving before the crash. How his coat still hung by the door. The light never interrupted. It only blinked 3 times, like it understood forgiveness better than I did. Then came the first mistake. 4 flashes, sharp and uneven. I frowned, waiting for a 5th, but it stopped. The next night, 4 again, then 5. A rhythm trying to become words. I answered with our old code, 2 then 1, but the light didn't seem to care about our language anymore. The timing shifted too. 7:50, 7:30, 7 o'clock. Earlier each evening. Sometimes I'd feel it before I saw it, a faint pressure in the air. The hairs on my arm lifting, as though static were crawling under my skin. One night, walking home through the falling snow, I saw it from the street. 3rd floor, 2nd window. Mine. And across from it, the glow, waiting like an open eye. The snowflakes passing through that light didn't melt. They just disappeared. I should have closed my curtains. I should have stopped looking. But you can't quit something that listens. The more I watched, the more I felt it watching back. A warmth would spread behind my ribs each time the flicker came, as though my heartbeat was sinking to the bulb's pulse. Soon, the other sounds in the building faded away. The dripping faucet, the creak of old wood, the neighbor's late-night TV, all drowned beneath that hum. The hum of connection. Then one night, the hum changed pitch. It grew deeper, heavier, like the sound the earth makes just before a quake. At 8:15 exactly, the hallway light outside my door exploded. A pop, a smell of burning dust and darkness so thick it felt wet. Only the opposite window still glowed. It was whiter than I'd ever seen it before. Too bright to be a bulb. I opened my door. Cold air rushed in metallic, sharp, electric. The corridor stretched ahead, longer than it should be, as if distance itself had come undone. Each step I took echoed twice, once from my feet, and once from something walking just behind me. The glow at the end of the hall pulsed like a heartbeat. I told myself it was only light, just light. But when I reached the end, I realized what I was seeing. Through the opposite window was my apartment, my couch, my mug, and me, sitting in the dark, crying into my hands. I froze. Every instinct screamed it was a reflection, but reflections don't breathe. And the woman in the window, the other me, she lifted her head first. She smiled. It was my smile, but wrong too slow, too patient. I whispered, "Who are you?" The lights flickered back once, twice, 3 times. I stepped closer. The floor trembled underfoot, the tiles bending like thin ice. The walls shimmered, paint peeling upward as if the building itself wanted to escape. My door was open now. White light spilled out, swallowing the shadows. I crossed the threshold. It smelled like my apartment, but cleaner, emptier, as though someone had scrubbed the sadness away. She sat on the couch, dry-eyed, her hands folded neatly in her lap. When she spoke, her voice was mine layered over itself, the echo and original tangled together. "You've been watching for too long," she said. "Now it's your turn to listen." Every bulb in both apartments ignited. White fire swallowed the world. The hum became a roar. Then a silence so complete it felt like drowning. I tried to close my eyes, but there was no darkness left to hide in. For just a moment, I saw something behind the light. Not a person. A shape made of wire and breath, bending over both of us like a mother watching her children sleep. Then everything went black. Morning. The air smelled of burnt plastic. Maintenance men were joking in the hall as they screwed in new bulbs. I asked if the tenant across the hall was okay. One of them frowned. "There's no tenant," he said. "That unit's been empty since winter." I wanted to argue, but the words felt fragile in the daylight. Instead, I just thanked him, went inside, and sat on the couch that wasn't mine anymore. For 2 days, the hallway stayed dark at night. I almost believed it was over. Then, on the 3rd evening at 8:15 p.m. sharp, 3 flashes split the dark. I froze mid-breath. The teacup in my hand trembled. Flicker, flicker, flicker. "Hello." I didn't answer. The next night, it came earlier again, 8 p.m., then 7:45. Always 3 flashes. Always waiting. A new tenant moved in last week. A quiet woman who keeps her curtains closed and her eyes down. She smiled at me once in the stairwell. Her smile looked tired in a way I recognized. I wanted to warn her, but what would I say? Don't look out your window after dark. Don't trust what answers you back. Instead, I just said, "Welcome. Tonight, the wind sounds like breathing through teeth. I'm sitting on my couch, lights off, trying not to look at the window, trying not to listen. But habit is a cruel god. My head turns on its own. The curtains across the hall glow faintly. Then 1, 2, 3 flashes. I whisper, "Please, stop." And the bulb above me hums in reply. The hum shapes itself into words soft, distorted, like a recording stretched too far. It's your turn again. I don't move. I don't breathe. The light across the hall holds steady now. A single beam aimed straight into my room. It doesn't blink anymore. It just watches. And somewhere inside that endless brightness, I think I can see her, my other self, still sitting on the couch, smiling that patient smile, waiting for me to finish the story. Every night, 8:15. The light still flickers. 3 times for hello. But the world on the other side of the glass has learned my rhythm now. When the light fails, it isn't darkness that follows. It's memory waking up.